Well, welcome to Consistency Wednesday. Now, you might be wondering why I need to talk about or tell you about consistency, but it's important to be consistent in life and in any situations, whether these are at work or leisure, and particularly when you want to take care of your mental, emotional, psychological, physical, and overall well-being. And I'm being distracted just now because I have a lovely doggy, Princess Darcy, with me. I think you can only see tips of her ears here. And it's a glorious day today. I'm actually going to be doing the floating clouds mindfulness mind bites meditation, but there's not a cloud in the sky this morning. It's absolutely beautiful. But I thought I would talk. Perhaps you could actually send me your messages in Facebook or wherever, and tell me what did you decide to do or have decided to do over the years, and you thought, right, I'm committed to do it, I'm going to be consistent, and then it's fallen by the wayside. Because that's what happens. I mean, life is complicated every day, every minute even, every second. Every second can be different or is different. One minute you feel everything's great, it's fabulous, you're all set to go, everything's going well, and then suddenly life throws you a curveball and you start doubting yourself, questioning every decision you make. I know this because it happens to me, but instead of getting overwhelmed, sometimes we all get overwhelmed, but instead of getting overwhelmed, you need to find ways of bringing consistency into your life so that you can cope with these times and the times before, or at least when you start becoming overwhelmed, anxious, and stressed. So you need to find ways of talking about this. And the need to talk about consistency came about because I was thinking about the progress, or sometimes the lack of progress, of mind circles or even my new website, Intuitive Readings. One moment I'm excited about what I'm doing, I'm raring to go, everything's going well, and then the next minute I'm kind of doubting which route I should take. Should I be doing this? So I thought today I would give kind of some tips about consistency and how you can be consistent. In short, you need to create habits. Now, it's interesting that lots of these words, everything that we do, particularly with mind circles, and the books I've written, are about creating habits. And thanks to everybody who's bought my 7 Attributes for Success book, that's Inner Success and Inner Happiness, and my Resilience and Courage book, they all have tips, and it's about creating habits. And you've got to create habits in what you do, but also on how you think. So how can you do this? Well, here are some steps. The first one is be motivated and committed to change the way you think. First of all, you could ask yourself a question: why do you want to be more consistent in what you do and what you think? The answer should be because you want to be less anxious, less stressed, and avoid being overwhelmed. And of course, another tip to avoid being overwhelmed is if you prioritize things, your workload particularly. And again, I've talked about all these things have been, it's like a broken record really. I've got lots of free resources. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can listen to the live videos, which I did daily from the start of the first lockdown way back early 2020. Now, it's interesting because that was consistent. I was doing them daily, and it was kind of not forced, but I thought, right, if I can do one daily just to help everyone who's isolated or feeling down, feel a bit better about themselves, then I feel good about it, and hopefully it helped everybody else to feel good. And of course, I suppose you could say, well, that kind of fell by the wayside after the lockdown everything's more or less opened up, and I reduced them to once a week. Then, well, it was 3 times a week, then once a week. And now I'm going to do them regularly. I'll just try and pop in and out with the live videos. and kind of just to whet your appetite, not to overload you. But if you've got any topic you want me to talk about, please private message me and I'll see what I can do. The next tip is avoid chaos by coping with and being ready to face unexpected changes that life throws at you. So how can you avoid this? Well, avoid or remove yourself, and I've said it before, I'm repeating myself again, avoid or remove yourself as much as possible from negative people and negative situations. They just bring you down. If you find yourself experiencing chaos or you're surrounded by negative people and situations, you can ask yourself a question: are you drawing these people or these situations to you? We often do. I don't know if some of you will understand this, but I know that if I'm kind of feeling down, then your whole energy comes down. I mean, I'm laughing in a way at myself because I've got a friend who's very positive and another friend who's kind of quite negative. You know, the glass, not just half full, maybe empty. And seeing them separately, the positive one, we feel the energy's up. The negative one, I've got to, bring in all my tips and tools to protect myself from this negativity. And it's interesting that when we get together, and I suppose it's the old saying, like one bad apple or something, but there just needs to take one negative person and it can bring the whole energy of a room, of a situation down. And I remember years ago working with a large organisation where we were trying to improve how they felt about themselves, which would also help productivity for the organisation. And there was one person, and she just brought everybody down. I mean, people would talk about it, say, it's just, we all feel quite good. And then maybe she comes in and it can be simple things like, oh, it's raining again. And, oh, I don't feel well. And suddenly everybody's feeling down. And of course, I thought it might be difficult to create consistency in her life of feeling more positive. Well, at first, for about the first 2 or 3 weeks, actually, it was kind of, no, this isn't for me. I'm not going to manage this. But she became the greatest promoter and gave me fabulous feedback on what mind circles, these techniques I have, the ABC, did for her. And she really became more positive. The interesting thing was that when she changed, I remember hearing somebody say, we'll call her Mary, I don't know what's happened to Mary. She's just not herself. And of course, I said to her, what do you mean? She said, well, she's no longer negative. I said, well, is that not a good thing? But it's interesting that people don't like change, even if it's positive change. So you've got to think about all these things. So just remember, if you're experiencing feeling down or you're negative or you're always moaning, you draw similar people to you. So don't get involved in other people's dramas. The next tip is, if you've listened to my live videos, which are, as I say, on YouTube, or my podcasts, then the next tip is to find a sense of purpose in life. When you find a sense of purpose, when you find purpose, you will feel magic in everything you do. So how can you find your purpose? Well, develop realistic goals. So for consistency, I bet you've all had goals. Most of us, everybody talks about this, particularly at New Year. Write down a set of goals. I think what happens is we tend to be unrealistic, and when we do that, we're really never going to achieve that. So look at some of my live videos on goals and why you often don't achieve them. And that's because you're setting yourself up to fail. You're setting unrealistic goals. Maybe I've recommended throughout all my live videos that you create, or if you have one, keep looking at it, an inspiration board and an achievement board. The inspiration board inspires you, so keep looking at it. Look at what your dreams and your vision are. Never let go of these. And when you feel down, look at your achievement board. It reminds you of what you've achieved. Now, quite a lot of people say to me, "Oh no, I haven't really achieved a lot," and it's kind of starting from the doubting themselves and being negative about themselves. But actually, achievement isn't talking about achieving a 26K marathon, or your achievement can be as small or as big as you like, particularly if you've really had a challenging life. Hi there, Haley. Nice to see you. Give you a wee wave there. Oh, I don't know what we do here. I'm kind of losing it there. I gave a wave and then the picture sort of disappeared. But I think people tend to think, oh, I've not achieved much in life, and that's they're bringing themselves down, because if you achieve even the smallest thing now, if you've had a challenging time, it might just be getting out of bed. It might just be standing up one morning out of bed and saying, do you know what? I'm getting up today and I'm going to do something. That's a huge achievement for some. It might be baking a cake. There might be something that you think, oh, I can't do this. Then you try it. So please do not dismiss these things. So your achievement board, write them down, have a journal, have a diary. As I say, I recommend like a board and or an A3 sheet or something. And you can have words, you can have drawing, art, excuse me, it doesn't matter. But it really, when you look at this, it reminds you to praise yourself and encourage yourself. Never wait for anyone else to praise or encourage you. And another wee story, I was just thinking there, I remember when I was speaking to an audience, I said, when have you ever been praised by someone else? And kind of very few hands went up, but one chap, put his hand up, and I said, and he said, yeah, all the time. And I thought, this is fantastic. So I said, so you're praised by someone all the time? Oh, yes. These appraisals. And I said, no, we're not talking about that, because when he expanded on his conversation, some of the appraisals were very negative for him. So that isn't what we're talking about. And if you are someone who's got to praise others or got to try and encourage and praise, think about what you would do. You should start with something positive. Now, if they haven't done something very well, try and be constructive about how you can support them or encourage them in different ways. There's nothing worse than somebody saying, oh, you're rubbish at that, and that's where you have to bring in my technique to go, do you know what? I'm not rubbish at that. And you've got to just turn this around in your mind. It's a change of mindset. So, but some people actually, they like to bring others down to kind of boost themselves. Not a nice way of doing things. So another thing to do is, of course, define your values and your beliefs. Now, I've talked about this in previous live videos as well, and go back to YouTube channel, because this is all about labels, past conditioning. Now, we've all been conditioned from birth to wherever we are now, and we've been given labels. You're the young sister, you're the brother, you're not as clever as your big sister. Even one that says, why can't you be like your brother? He's the clever one. Now, actually, it might sound like a positive label for the brother and a negative one for you, but it can impact on, the positive label can impact on the person too, because then often they try to go beyond what's expected of them, and that can cause stresses. So we really need to just ditch the labels and just be you. Easier said than done sometimes, but don't accept these labels. As I say, these labels hold you back. So you need to go back and check my live videos. Lots of these subjects, I feel, as I say, like a broken record. We're going over and over the same thing. But I suppose that's like consistency then. So again, the subject is covered in my book, 7 Attributes, and my other book, The Resilience and Courage. The resilience and courage, if you've got these two attributes, these are the key to resilience, and resilience builds creativity. Absolutely fantastic. We all need that. And a topic close to this is moving out of your comfort zone. We all like to just feel comfortable, and I'm not going to do that. That's quite challenging here. But when you move out of your comfort zone, you will find your purpose. Of course, you've got to remember to look after yourself, particularly your health, all aspects, your physical. So remember to do physical activities. Try and do these regularly, be consistent in it. And of course, I look at things and I think, oh, I'm not going to the gym every day and I'm not doing this and I need to be running round the park or jogging. You don't need all of that. You go kind of according to your pace. Physical activity, if you're sedentary at your work all the time, it can mean just getting up, walk round the room, maybe stretch. Just do things that you're moving, and it's absolutely fabulous. So it doesn't have to be at the gym. It doesn't have to be fast and furious. And I've got, well, I haven't, she's now sleeping again, but I've got Darcy today, Princess Darcy. As I said in a Facebook post this morning, I think I'm the dog whisperer. She comes in, gets straight up, usually on my chair here at my back, and it's like a hot water bottle, and she falls asleep. But when I go a walk, she sometimes seems to dawdle along, just go slowly, and I go that too. But it's exercise. So just try and remember to do some physical activity and kind of regularly every day. Sometimes it's quite good if you can set a time, like in the first thing in the morning, I might do just 10 stretches or something. And then you regularly do that. Remember to eat as healthily as you can. Very, very difficult. I know, and I'm one to talk because I've been very good because I love chocolates. But I've cut down on this and I'm now able to actually have a packet of chocolate biscuits and not eat them all. That's a big goal. I'm achieving something there because I'm somebody who would get, well, maybe you've got friends that can have a bar of chocolate and they'll take off one square. Now, that wasn't me. I'd need to eat the whole bar of chocolate. Well, I'm trying to restrict myself and be consistent in this and create a habit of savouring, enjoying that. And that takes me to eating. You can actually savour things. I remember an old friend years ago, when I was younger, said, take a 40 bites to every chew. And I thought, what? But actually, I think that's what the Buddhists and others do. They actually appreciate their food. They slow down, and that's difficult because I know, again, lots of us have had, if you've been at school meals or you've only got a certain time for lunch, you're gobbling down the sandwich and ready to get, in fact, some people are still sitting at their computer eating. Try to stop doing that. You need a break. And nobody knows that more than me because it can create constant looking at the computer, can create headaches and things, so it's absolutely. Oh, I haven't said hello to Linda this morning. Good morning, Linda, and Haley as well. I haven't managed this wave. Don't know what happens there. But sleep's another thing. Just be careful. You need to. Here's a funny one because lots of people will say to me, oh, I've read that I've got to have 8 hours sleep. I've got to have 9 hours sleep. Now, I'm a great believer. I suppose it's like moderation in everything. I can manage on 6 hours, sometimes 5. And you'll say, oh, that's too little. But I maybe have had a nap earlier, so I have 40 minutes or an hour. And sometimes even that short time, I suppose it's like the people maybe in the warm countries, they have a siesta. Now, there was something, I think, on the television in a programme saying that maybe employers should bring in this a sleep time, a siesta for everybody. And people are going, oh, yeah, that's ridiculous. People will just abuse it. But actually, there are some companies, I think, IKEA and some of the, I think it's the perhaps more northern countries, actually Norway and Sweden, they have hammocks. I mean, I did actually do a workshop for an insurance company, a large insurance company, where it was really interesting. It was a fabulous, they were on the top of a building in London and they had a train track outside round the room where people could just take a wee trip round the room. They had sleep pods, they had hammocks, they had other things. And these were not abused. People took a little rest. Now, they say that if you have a little rest, you can actually probably have energy for 5 or 6 hours of work. So it's something to consider. Obviously companies would think, oh, the productivity is going to be down, but some of these companies have found that productivity goes up. They're appreciating people, they're giving them some time just to rest and then get back to work. But try and set your own pattern. I think, I can do the nap thing. Some people can't. I can have 10, 15 minutes and then I feel quite refreshed. And then I'm energized, ready for another few hours. But just try and set your own pattern and trying to be regular. Get into, again, it's consistency. Get into a regular pattern, and I recommend, of course, that you really, and I'm kind of bad on this, but try not to, I don't have TV in the bedroom, but try not to watch TV just before going to bed. They say there's some people do promote sort of you shouldn't have electricity in the room, like electric blankets and things. That sucks away your energy. There's lots of research on this. But what I do is I would lie down. Lots of people say, oh, I go to bed and I can't sleep. And that happens to me. But I will lie and I'll just do my ABC and just try and the short meditations. I did them deliberately, not half-hour things that you're listening to a tape with dolphins whooping or whatever. But you might like that. I found that they were just too long for me. I found the short one, just listening to something, quietly meditating, 2 to 3 minutes, and you're relaxing, even if you're not sleeping. Now, I've got some, I call them elderly. I'm probably slotting into that group now. But some people will say to me, I can't sleep. And my friend who's in her 90s, she'll say, oh, I can't sleep and I didn't sleep. So I said, what do you do? And she said, well, I actually just sit up, sometimes get up and I'll read a book. So that's okay as well, because actually when you look into it and I speak to her, she'll say, well, I slept in the afternoon for a couple of hours. So when you've had lots of sleep, even if it's over the day, you maybe then can't sleep at night. So it's something to think about. Find your own pattern for that, because we need sleep, we need to eat healthily, we need physical activities, and of course, I truly believe the mental activities. It's the mental activities. And that's why I designed kind of my ABC. The C is using your creative imagination. It's mindfulness meditation. And it calms and it relaxes. And along with my B, remember the effective breathing that increases your energy. You bring inner balance when you use these. And these are what I recommend you practice them daily. Now, again, you can get lots of different ones on my YouTube channel and you'll find tips on practicing them. That's Darcy's decided to get up now. So she's going to join me, are you? She wants it. We call her the Velcro dog, the Velcro Wiesler. I think they may all be like that, this breed, because she loves to be touching her human, don't you? So find these, try doing all these things, but the last tip is don't beat yourself up. If you can't stick to using or being consistent, remember, if you practice something for 28 days, now there's research shows that it's got to maybe be 30 days, 21 days, 31 days. I just say 28 days. Now, that sounds feasible, doesn't it? So you've got my ABC, the affirm, the breathing and the meditation. Under 3 minutes, because I do these at the end and you'll know they're 2 to 3 minutes. So don't tell me, oh, I don't have time for this. You do have time. However, that sounds easy, and they are. Theirs are psychologically proven techniques for improving your overall well-being, and they're easy to use. So, why are they not used? Because the hard thing is to do them for 28 days till you create this habit. And that's really what's kind of difficult. Sad but true. And we all fall into that. I've been doing them now for years, so I suppose I might forget one day, but I've been doing them so often now that I can call them just at will if something's stressing me outside at the supermarket. There's a queue. I had to drive up to, I lost a friend at the weekend who actually died very suddenly, and I was at the funeral. She died a couple of weeks ago, and I was at the funeral. I had to drive to Perth, and the queues and the traffic, and it's just unbelievable. And I can't believe the impatience of people. No wonder there are accidents, actually. I keep thinking, where are they rushing to? Because have you ever, somebody zooms past you in the car and you get to traffic lights and there's one car in front of you? Where has it got them? So I use my ABC when I'm sitting there, and particularly if I've got a negative passenger going, we'll never get there in time, we'll never get there in time. I just block that out and sit and affirm everything will be fine. So, and I mean, we shouldn't be laughing at a funeral, but in fact, they were getting my passengers were getting a bit worked up that we wouldn't get to the crematorium in time. And I said, but the hearse, the funeral cars were in front of us. I said, it won't start without them. So, we'll be okay. But it's just interesting. People do get worked up, and I just try and be patient and draw in my ABC. I'm human, of course, and I can get worked up too, but I try and bring myself back then. So for today, the affirmations, remember the 3 Ps. Now you'll need to look back. I keep saying to people, or my web chat keeps saying, I think you give away too much free, but that's just in my nature. I can't help it. Instead of saying to people like, go and buy this workshop, go and do this, I'm telling everybody. But at the end of the day, you reap what you sow, I suppose. So the affirmation for today, your 3 Ps principle: personal, positive, and past or present tense. Never future. You don't say, I'm going to be doing this. You've done it, or it's now. So your affirmation could be, I am consistent. I know my purpose in life. I keep sight of my dreams and vision. I prioritise. Any of these, and make up your own. I hope you've got a wee kind of affirmation. I've got them in my diary, but you can have a wee card. And actually, one of the simplest things is, I am positive. I feel good. Be kind. Be grateful. All these are affirmations. B for breathing, the effective breathing. Remember, it's from the diaphragm, so you have to breathe in through the nose, and it's from the bottom, not lifting your shoulders. Hold, and then breathe, exhale slowly through the mouth. And that's probably the best habit you can do, because you can do it anywhere. So, obviously a mindfulness meditation, you can't do that at the traffic lights, but you can do an affirmation. I'm patient, and just take a deep breath in, hold, and then exhale slowly. And you really will be calmed down. And remember, I think I have said it in one of my live videos, and it goes way back to the O.J. Simpson trial. And I remember when the prosecutor, a female prosecutor, was getting really worked up and very, very angry. And what did the judge say to her? Take 3 deep breaths. That was the deep breathing, 3 deep breaths, and she was suddenly calm, relaxed, but energized. So you don't go to sleep, you're energized. So just remember that if a member of staff, a colleague, a friend, anybody is really getting to you, you don't even need to show them you're doing anything. You don't need to say anything. Just take a deep breath in through the nose. Now, I've done it just now, and nobody would know I'm doing it, and it calms you. So it gives you that stopgap without jumping in or replying to somebody who's hurting you or being angry at you. So the C is the creative imagination. So don't do that while you're driving, but absolutely fabulous if you can take a moment. And the one I'm going to do today is floating clouds. And it was interesting. I thought I'll do floating clouds because I've had a few clouds, and lo and behold, this morning, and it's Glasgow, I know, but some people post up fabulous views of where they've been over staycation. But the sky is bright blue and there's not a cloud in the sky. So I will be using my imagination, to conjure up these lovely clouds. And of course, if you want help in finding your purpose, then you can book a session with me for a reading. I've got my new website, intuitivereadings.co.uk, and you get half an hour of my time, and that kind of maybe can help you focus on where you're going. So let's get to the mindfulness mind bites meditation. So sit back in the chair, try and have your back upright, not stiff, but just it makes you feel confident, head up, and you're going to just take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale through the mouth. Now I want you to close your eyes. Put your hands on your thighs, just relax. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold, and then exhale through the mouth. Now imagine yourself lying down. You feel calm. You feel relaxed. You look up at the sky. The blue, blue sky. You see clouds slowly floating by. You feel as if you can touch them. They continue to float by, soft and silent, changing shapes, some fluffy, some wispy. You imagine anything you want. You feel calm. You feel relaxed. You feel the magic of nature. Now take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold, and then exhale slowly through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Hold, and then exhale slowly through the mouth. Now take another deep breath in through the nose. Hold. And then as you exhale slowly, open your eyes and say to yourself, I feel calm. I feel relaxed. I feel the magic. And then you can just relax, shake your shoulders, or as people like me saying, sugar them. And then stretch, yawn, maybe stretch your arms, and just bring yourself back into the now. Now that's a couple of minutes, I think. So you can do these things. You can imagine what you want. And of course, I love nature, so anything to do with nature. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And of course, as always, my 2 trademark tips are smile and laugh. They cost you nothing. And virtual hugs to you all. Thank you for listening again to me, and I'll do another one soon, but I'll post this up. I'm recording it, so I'll post it up so you can revisit when and where you want, and I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. I hope you've got a fantastic day ahead and fantastic rest of the week. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.